And then, of course, you have to attach that to the train counter. And when this light goes on, the train counter will pull and request a train from the depots. However, we need to say what depot we're requesting from. Well, we need to first say, hey, our supply source priorities, we need, in this case, it will be stacked borax. Its ID will be stacked borax. So the resource is the actual resource that's in the train, and then the ID is somewhat arbitrary. You can choose whatever ID you want for this. This is important if you have multiple depots of the same resource. So if I had, say, another depot of borax, I would have two with the resource of stacked borax, but they would need to have different IDs if I wanted to have them treated as separate depots with separate priorities. Does that make sense? I do hope so. But anyway, now we have this borax, so now we can define here what we want. And we, of course, want the stacked borax from stacked borax. This light should be on. Should be equal... Oh, output 1. There we go. So that's on, and actually, that should... if I didn't screw up, and if the thing is fully connected, it might not be. I might have screwed up somewhere. What did I do? I will figure it out. It might be because the train doesn't have a path back to the supply station. So let's take care of that next. I think that's the case. I think that's the case. I may need to look at... Why did it not... Oh, it didn't actually save. Right. That would make sense. This... Borax... You have to actually tell it that it's the, Borax Depot 1. That's that. There you go. Now... If I get out of the way, and I look at the map... No path. Okay. At least now I know that it is trying to request this locomotive, this train with the stacked borax in it. But it's saying no path. Now, why is that? Now, it could just be that it's an incomplete circuit, or that there's just a segment of ghost rail along the way. That could also be a thing. There could be a ghost rail along the way, or I could just be a dunce. There could be a wrong signal somewhere. But regardless, I need to go and add the... Could you... There you go. Just cleaning that up. I need to have a way for it to get back to its supply, because it is an incomplete circuit right now. I will also note that I did change a setting in my nanobots. The equipment rate here was set to 100. Now it is set to 30. This is how often in ticks to search for orders. Having it set to a value of 100 meant that it was checking every minute and a half-ish, minute 40 seconds. Now it's checking every half second, not minute 40. It's second 1.4 seconds ish, or 1.6, whatever. Point is, now it's checking more than twice as often as before, which is ideal. Which means that the nanobots will do their job a lot faster than before. Now, I am going to follow this train line around to primarily just check if there's any rails that didn't end up being placed on this outside line, because that's where the train will be going. Now I'm thinking about it, it could be... Yeah, hello. Are you still no pathing? Yes, so there are additional segments, potentially. There's one. The train moving? The train is now moving! It is now moving all on its own. Isn't it glorious? And it's gonna go here, and then it's gonna no path again, because I don't have it connected to the, thing. There it goes. Get those lights down, please. I'm carrying around a whole bunch of lights for good reason. Because I knew that there were lamps that needed to be placed along this line in particular. Now, the spacing on these rail signals is exactly 6, which is the length of my trains. My trains are 2-4 trains. 2 locomotives to 4 wagons. So it's 6 total length, and that does seem to be consistent with this particular mod. Or not mod, but set of blueprints. Let's get these lamps in real quick. Now the unloader will unload very fast, so I'm sure the train is already no pathing on me. And this needs to connect right right there. And what I need for signals is that, and that. I think. I'm pretty sure that those are the correct signals. That is a chain signal looking at these 2 rail signals ahead of it. And now the train here... Oh, it's still saying no path. Why is it saying still that there is no path? What have I done? I have done the wrong thing here. Yes, I have done the wrong intersection there. So that should be the other one. That's one of those oops things. That's one of those oops moments. So yeah, no wonder why it doesn't have a path. It's because it doesn't have a way of going to the correct hand drive section. So let's go and fix that real quick. It's right over here. So yeah, I should have noticed that this was a problem. So let's just get rid of all of that. And then grab my book here. I'll re-put down the straight segment that was here. Just the way that this blueprint book works is you overlay the electric poles. That's how this particular book works. Now, I'm looking for the exit. It should be the exit. This is the one it should be. And I think I'll actually put it here. Did I make the book myself? No. This book is available on Reddit. Actually. Alright, I do like this, but I need it to connect that way. This book is available on Reddit. It is the modular rail system right-hand drive. And it's like an edited version of it or some such thing. Alright, now the train has a path, so it should be moving. So we'll see it go by. Bye-bye, train. It can now go all the way and load up and fuel up as well while it's there. We can watch as it goes on its merry little way. I'm realizing it would have a much faster way if I set a line across from here that also went out and in right here. So a Y in here going down and having this go that way. That might be a thing to add in the future. So it loaded up real fast. And now it's going right back. Why is it going right back? Because the single train load wasn't enough to fill that warehouse, now was it? To fill that warehouse halfway. It filled 15,000 units. So now I know that a single train is about 15,000 units. So it's going to take a few trips for that train to get in, load up the borax here, and do all of that wonderful stuff. There it is. There it is. It has arrived as the game hitches as it arrives for some reason. Now, the way the bulk unloaders work is it's really quickly unloading, sending the train off once the train unloads, then from the bulk unloader, outputting into the belt boxes. These give many yellow belts. I don't know why I'm doing this. Why am I doing this? This is not ideal. This is not ideal, actually. Like, I can double the throughput of this by doing this. I can have all 4 of these actually going in on these warehouses. Oops. So yeah, I continue to need to tweak and modify. Same thing applies on the one below, because this was just a copy-paste. Yeah, I need to think about how would I odd? These are the things we need to know. Take those, please. But once this fills up to 40, it'll stop requesting. but it will have enough to fill even further than that. Move the warehouse up 1 square. I think I will have to, yes. Move it up 1 square. I will get rid of these. I can do that, but that's not gonna really help in the long run, so I need 16. I need, 16 inputs on this. And yeah, so this does need to be, that is not gonna happen when it's this full. So, and that's gonna screw up the connection a little bit. If I can get this with it as is, that would be best. Let's have that be reversed. This was one of the things I was trying to avoid, but looks like it'll be somewhat unavoidable. Yeah, I can't do it with that one. I need one more up and then in there. This just speeds up the process. It doesn't really need to be like this. Just for reference. It doesn't need to be like this. Refill it, please. So that I can actually use those. Yeah, I could have planned that out a little bit better. But hey, that'll fill this up real quick now. Now let's do this properly. Moving this, the extra tile away. At least one tile away. Two tiles away. That'll make things even easier because then I can do this a lot more easily. Remember that this one's going to be the sand castings. Eventually. There we go. That looks nicer. Because it's an extra 2 tiles away. Yeah, I don't like that this isn't evenly pulling, though. Do I scrap it? Also, the light is off now. I'm gonna scrap it. Let's just load up this other one for now, and then I'll move 2 tiles higher, and then do this here. I'm not in a logistics network, so this is just gonna take time, just load. Might even need another one next door. Just with the amount of stuff. I could stop the flow of stuff, though, by doing that. And then it's just waiting for this to empty. Which I can help with my minimal amount of inventory slots available right now. It's unfortunate that you can't have more than one thing open at a time. Like if I'm close enough to 2 boxes, I should be able to move stuff between the boxes. Like that would actually make sense, that you should be able to move stuff between boxes by having multiple box inventories open at any one time. But you can't. Not in this game. You have to move stuff into your inventory and then move it away from your inventory. This would be a lot faster. Actually, if I did that, shoved all of my stuff into that box, / put another box down and shove even more stuff into that box, and then did this box and shoved even more stuff into there so that I can grab all of the things. This is gonna send trains again. For reference. And then just delete all this stuff. And unfortunately I'll have to redo this wire. Hello, train. I need this. There. Alright. Oh, right. Where's my ammo? Ammo. Ammo. Ammo? Car. Vehicle. You've got ammo. This is why I put some ammo in the car. Also, these. Alright, we good? We good-ish, I think. And there we go. Now, to grab all of my stuff, get this put back, and it should already be more than halfway full. It's nearly completely full at this point. And that looks a lot nicer than it was looking. Ta-da! And this should be the final requested train. I do hope. Because this isn't on anymore. Now, I did wire up these to get a count here, so there's many different ways of getting a signal in that you can check. It's just, in this case, I'm checking what's in the warehouse. I could also check what's in the bulk unloaders. if I want to fill up the bulk unloaders to a certain amount and not have to worry about what comes after. Lots of ways of doing a check. Now I suppose the thing that I could do is I can actually feed this line here now. Just reverse this belt and then voila, we're there. We will now be officially feeding in the production of the molten copper from the borax that we are training in with the glorious train supply manager. However, yeah, my FPS and UPS keeps doing these drops down to half, and it's... I don't know why exactly it does that. Yeah, I don't know exactly what causes that, and it seems to be skipping on the stream as well. It's interesting. If I stay still, it's fine. If I zoom out, it hitches. Like every time I zoom out, it will hitch like that. Every time I zoom in, it's okay. But when I zoom out again, it was okay that time, zooming out. But if I'm at a certain zoom level for long enough, if I go over to a place, say over here, and then I try zooming out, maybe it'll do that. Looks like it loaded in those resources. Oh, there's a hitch. Oh, hold up. Let's science. Is it that train to the right? Is it that train to the right? Uh, uh. I don't know. I don't know. It seems rather inconsistent. I've always had issues with the Pi suite and the UPS, the usage, the frame rate, all that good stuff. Just in the Pi suite in general. It could be the bottleneck mod playing a role here. It could be just I've set my check rate on nanobots too high. That could be part of it. Don't know why it would be exactly, but yeah, it's just hitching, and it's not the computer itself that's the problem. I guarantee it. Not at this point, anyway. I've already taken care of the main concern that my PC had, the main problem, which was the corrupt memory that I had a little while ago, a few months ago. At this point, these should be a tile or two higher. Oh. Oh. There we go. There's the power for that. This will eventually pull in sand castings. I could wire this up. Get a combinator, get a thingy. Whoops. Did not mean to do that. That was probably fine either way. You are going to be checking sand castings. What's the stack size there? 200. So this time I'm checking for 80,000 if it's less than or equal to. And then output signal P. And it's enabled if P equals 1, which is true. So as soon as I set this up to a proper depot, supplying the sand castings, which are here, stack of 5, stack of 5. Once there is a requester or a depot that has this ID, that is when glorious things will happen. And trains will come in, and everything will be awesome. And then I can do the exact same thing for iron. I can do the exact same thing for tin, when I do molten tin, when I do molten anything that uses borax. Just as an example. Now to look at something a little bit different of a setup than this. That is a different setup than this. So my main bus also has borax. And by the way, I'm waiting on this line to switch over until I have the sand castings. Just point of reference. I do have the secondary line of borax that goes in with the sand castings. I will replace that completely once I do have access to the sand castings, and I can get rid of all of that as well. Come, my Logibots, do the glorious stuff and things. Here they come. Here comes the train of the Logibots, who have nothing better to do, quite clearly. Alright, they've pulled out all that from the inventory. I'm going to head on up here to this train station, because one of these is going to be my mall borax stop. Yes, because I also need a stop for the mall. Now, this supplies these chests. This is a little bit different. So the way the bulk rail unloaders work is that you do have additional spots on the sides if you add your own chests on the end. So that's a point of note as well. These are not going into a warehouse. These are going to their individual chests, provider chests. So we're just going to wire up these chests, send the wire over to there. We're going to check. In this case, these are 48 storage. 48 times 4 times 100. 1920 divided by 2. 9,600 is what I'm looking for here. On the raw, or on the standard borax, outputting a signal P equal to 1 when true, which it should be true, and you are enabled if P is equal to 1. And you are looking for the borax, which is here, the stacked borax. And that is on, and that is requesting from stacked borax. So now the train will start coming here and unloading. So if we look at the map, it's on its way. See how nice and somewhat simple that is. You don't even have to touch the train at all. It'll just arrive. Arrive at this station as the game hitches there for a moment. It'll unload into the bulk rail unloader. That'll send it to these chests. It'll output. It looks like I have some contamination here. Oh, there they go. Yeah, there was something stuck there. And that'll start filling these chests. Huzzah! Glorious things. Well, that is the borax. Next is sand castings. Supplying sand castings. This can be done anywhere. Although, probably better to do it near, a source of tar. That might be ideal. To do it near a source of tar. Let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 here. Tar sources. There's, let's see, how many free here? 1, 2, 5, 4? 4 free ones here. There's a bit of throughput left on the actual tar that's being pulled in there.